Welcome to Epic Experiences. I'm your host, Sinitra Skillern, where we encourage people and inspire communities. You may not think you have something epic to share, but everybody does. Every experience, every interaction, every relationship is epic. Welcome to Epic Experiences. I am your host, Sinitra Skillern. EPIC stands for Encouraging People, Inspiring Communities. And with me today, I have, who are you?
Dominique Pugh.
And tell us who you are. What hats do you wear?
I feel like I'm a hat rack. Of course, I am a mother of a 5-year-old diva. I am an educator, now in leadership. I am an author. I'm a counselor, a friend, a sister.
A tutor?
A tutor, yes.
Entrepreneur.
A public speaker, inspirational speaker. And then I'm just the average, seem like an average old person who wants to throw the for to drink lemonade.
No, not old, but okay, we'll take that.
Well, I say old because my birthday is Thursday. And I'll be 44. So not old as in old, but mature.
There we go.
Mature.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mature. There's nothing wrong with maturity. Nothing wrong with season, nothing wrong with wisdom, none of that.
None of that, yes.
And here at Epic Experiences, we just come together and talk about things that bond us together. The one thing about this platform is that I want everyone to know that they're not alone in a situation, whether it's we're celebrating something amazing, we're talking about something that is traumatic or traumatic adjacent, but just anything that's happening in your life, that these things we don't live in a silo. And so we have people come on the platform and talk about their lives, talk about their experiences, talk about any and everything, because we resonate with one another. And something that's said here can inspire a person. It can encourage a community. It can do a whole bunch of things just by unpacking what's going on in our lives. And so Dominique and I started in education 10 years ago, which I still say out loud and it's crazy, but we are math heads. We are bonded by math.
Oh, yes.
We love it. And we both taught it at a school when I was first starting out in education. And then fast forward, we ended up at another school together, both in leadership. And so it's like when you find good people, we just tend to keep gravitating and connecting toward each other. Mm-hmm. And so today we're just gonna, all those things she talked about, all those hats, we're gonna touch on a few of them. We're gonna stop and unpack, and we go back and forth. Sometimes we go deep, sometimes we backtrack. We do a lot here. And so we're just gonna jump right in. And I kind of want to start with Dee's passion, because that has a lot in it. And so just tell everybody what is Dee's passion and what inspired you to have it.
Great question. So Dee's passion is my business that I started last year, because I started tutoring when COVID happened, and I love my students, and I had some students who are students with disabilities. And so one of the mothers wanted me to tutor her son because he wouldn't do work for anyone else but me. And
because he was a student in your classroom.
Yes, so he started out as a student in the school, and the mother was privy to my reputation. I'm going to say it that way, because I am a no-nonsense teacher that is very nurturing. And she said, I want my kids to be with you because she has, the boys are twins. And so I said, I don't think that is what you really want. I'm just going to be honest. She said, no, I really do. And so I got my baby. He would not do work for nobody. They used to sit him on a Chromebook because he would flip out if you made him do any work, because it was challenging for him. However, in my classroom, that was not an option. So he fast forward, she asked me to do this tutoring, and then I said, well, I like it, And then, of course, Paisley, my daughter, when I came to name it, I said, I want to set a legacy that Paisley can benefit even when I'm gone. And anybody know me, they know I say this all the time. If you ever meet Paisley, which is, I believe she's a wonderful kid, so smart, and I say that because she's my kid, but other people tell me that too. So I always say, Paisley don't need nothing right now because I got her. It's when I'm not able or I'm not here, I need you all to make sure she stay grounded. And so I tried to come up with a name, and I came up, I was like, let's name it Paisley, because everything I do is Paisley. Everything I do, I breathe, eat Paisley. I do. And so her dad said, name it whatever you want to, it's your business. And I said, yeah, but it got to have a little to a little ring. I ain't so plain. And my name is Dominique, so that's the D. And instead of saying Paisley, Paisley is my passion. She is my why. And so I said, what better way to say D's passion? Plus, my last name is Pugh, so DP is my initials.
So it means quite a few things.
It does mean quite a few things. And my passion is to literally uplift women in the Cleveland area, and one day to expound nationwide. But to uplift women through their hurts, their pains, in order for me to save education. And so I know how hard I work for Paisley. I know how hard I put into Paisley. I pour into Paisley. And I do it through academics and love and nurturing. I also know how challenging it is when you are a mother or a caregiver, because we have a lot of people out there that's not mothers, but they care for others, that you want them to be the best, and sometimes you trip because of your trauma or your trepidations or your adversities or your shortcomings. And so being a mom or a parent, even a father, is a challenging job
To say the least.
that we do not get paid for at all. I mean, we get the loves and hugs. And so I want women to know that they're not alone. I want them to know that we wear a lot of hats. Some tight, some loose, some big, some round, some short. But when you take that hat off, you should be at peace. And so that's what Dee's passion is. I want to help the whole family, not just the piece of the family.
And so I'm going to act like I don't know what it's about. It's going to be hard because I know. But talk to us about the different arms of Dee's passion. You talked about the tutoring. And then what did you start in 2024? That's another part of Dee's passion that we're like going into part 3. Is that what's coming?
Yes.
So tell the people what did you start this year?
So of course, tutoring was the first layer, getting the kids, because adults have to bring kids. And then in January 21st, I started, I was saying programming at first because I really was still nervous. However, it's women's seminar. It is women's seminar. And I'm not saying this because it's mine, but it's great. It's phenomenal.
It's really
And
good.
I will say this to anyone who's listening, who's starting a business, the numbers are not there yet. But the numbers that are there, they be rich, right? So in January, the first seminar was, would you sleep with yourself?
Right.
And I know what you're thinking, right? Like, yeah, I'll sleep with myself. I'm good. And some people go, they think sexuality, and that's not what the seminar was really about. It was when you take off those hats, when you take off those red bottoms, when you take off that Chanel perfume, when you take off the nails, when you take off the glasses, the girdles, everything that hold everything in place, would you date you or talk to you or be friends with you if your name wasn't attached?
Because the sleep with was the hook to get you in there.
Yes.
But once we got in there, and I must be on the participant side, We came, we had a therapist speak to us and talk to us about peace and journaling and some things to help us be still. We had Dominique spoke out of her life and gave us her testimony of what got her to the space where she could stand up in front of people and share. There was food. Gotta have some food for the women to sit and chit chat and chew about. But it was just an opportunity for us to. We made like a reminder bracelet. There's always something like a takeaway and a keepsake or something to keep us moving to the next event, because this is just not a one-time thing, correct?
It's not a one-time thing. So what since you're talking about, because I'm an educator, and because we are taught as teachers to have an attention getter, to have the core meat, and then you have to have that check for understanding, meaning you can take it and apply it. We definitely had, I gave every woman a little notepad, a pen, and a little bag with affirmations on it. And the "would you sleep with yourself" was the groundbreaking to even say I have trauma, because trauma doesn't mean you have been raped, or your parents was alcoholics, or you were abused physically, mentally, emotionally. Trauma can be you didn't make the cheerleading team back when you was in high school, and because of that you haven't tried out for anything because of rejection or abandonment. And it always go back to core definitions, whether it's abandonment, things of that nature. Or you haven't forgiven yourself for dating that guy for a whole long time that you knew you shouldn't have even dated, but you did. It could be you did get a job that you wasn't even qualified for, and because of the workload, you was just like, I don't want to go out for anything else. And so I wanted women to realize that trauma doesn't have to fall in that category of, what's the word I want to, devastation.
There we go. I was going to say something that's so
traumatic.
And well, it's there's levels to it, and we're not going to diminish one over the other.
Correct.
But we also want people to recognize that it leaves an imprint or some sort of impact that affects a future choice or decision.
And so, but to piggyback what you're saying is, experience in your life that hinders you from being the best you is a trauma. It could be that bad hairstyle we had. Everybody go through that one part where they cut their bag.
A little too short.
A little too short.
Too short.
Or you got to cut it off a little bit more to even it out.
And it's a mess.
Some things of that nature. So that was the first one. The second one was sweet talk, and I use desserts to unpack the next level. And the desserts were, women, when they came in, they had to tell me if they resonated with being a pound cake, a cheesecake, or a cupcake. And I want you to think about that, because you might be thinking of, what? And that's what they were thinking too. When you think of yourself, do you think of yourself as a pound cake, a cheesecake, or a cupcake? And I did that in the beginning, and at the end you had to ask yourself, are you still that pound cake, cheesecake, or cupcake? And so you may be wondering, like, okay, Dominique, what you talking about? And so I did research, and a pound cake is called a pound cake because it has, first of all, it's 4 ingredients to a real pound cake. We done got snazzy razzle dazzle, but it's and she know about that pound for pound.
A little bit,
but it's a pound of sugar, a pound of flour, pound of butter, and a pound of eggs. And so I took that and I resonated with women and saying, are you that woman that is balanced, that's still tasteful, still graceful, that can go into any room and feel confident Are you that pound cake that got that substance in it? And so I even went a little deeper and say, you know, flour is the grind. A woman that can grind and still hold it together. And sugar, still be sweet, but still do what she got to do. The butter is the fat. that you know, the fatness of the substance. Do she have morals and values? And then the egg keeps the stuff together. Can she keep her family, friends, and things together? And not only that, but herself, without giving more to one than the other. And so that was the pound cake. The next one was cheesecake. A woman who has a strong foundation, which is the graham cracker, but you don't know what she holds inside. She got layers to it. You know, she layers to it. But no matter what she has inside, she can handle so many different hats, which is the topping. Because if you know about cheesecake, something about a cheesecake, the way it's structured, now this is the mathematical part, right? It's structured that no matter what you put on top, it doesn't, the cheesecake doesn't crumble.
Right.
It does not crumble at all. You can put pounds of strawberries, whipped cream, caramel syrup, and it doesn't faint. And then, last but not least, we had the cupcake that was small. You don't know what's inside at all. It can look good, but when you bite into it, it's kind of nasty. But the cupcake is women who care about optics, what it looked like. What it looked like. I have to look this way because people are looking. I have to drive this type of car, but my paychecks don't cover it. You know, I have to say my kids are perfect. We're going on these trips and things like that. But I'm hurting inside because my marriage is not what it is. My relationship is not what it is. My kids really don't even want to be with me outside of Instagram and Facebook. And so we dived into those things.
We did.
And we tasted pound cake, cheesecake,
and cupcakes with each round.
And of course it was food there too. And the one part we had to do is when the women came, they had to put one of their fears.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They had to put one of their fears. And I had a speaker that was connected where she balanced religion, Christ, the foundation, and being a woman who went through different layers of the cakes in her life. And then at the end, I took on the women's fears and tore it up.
Yep.
And we left them where they belong, in the trash.
In the trash. And so that's quarter one and quarter two of this year. And tell us what your goals are for the remainder of this year. You ain't got to go all deep because I want to be surprised because I'm going to however many they are. But, you know, give us a little snippet of what's coming as a part of these women's seminars that you've created for this year.
So she doesn't want me to tell her, right? But she has me here.
So I want just, you know,
I know.
Overarching.
So here's what I'm gonna say. The third one is gonna be connected to my first journal that I published, which is called Trapped Inside Self.
Shameless plug, but I was gonna talk about it. So just go right.
She said do an overview. Yeah. I've been thinking about what the third one is gonna be, and so it's gonna be 4th of July, around that. It's in July 13th at Richmond Heights Library. That's the third one. So I'm just gonna tell you, it's gonna be explosive.
Ooh, come on, July 4th fireworks.
It's gonna be explosive because we are going to use this as the foundation.
And tell the people where they can get this journal while it's up.
Oh, it's still surreal to me. So this journal is on Amazon. Mm-hmm. It is on Amazon. You can look it up by the title Trapped Inside Self, or Dominique Pugh, which is me. It's a women's healing journal. This is a journal that is for women. And so I did let the women know in the second one that I did it. But I didn't physically have one. Mm-hmm. And so now, one thing she needs you to know is my brain does its own thing. I have a thought and my brain just starts computing out things. And I've been trying to figure out what the third one can be where I can still keep that fire. And so then God gave it to me and said, you have it. Because this can be a combination of 1 and 2.
Right.
And then just because I want to be respectful of women's time throughout the year and other obligations, the last one will be for the year will be in October. And that one is going to be where we have a feast, gifts, and we're going to set goals. It's still going to be a seminar, but it's going to be a setting goals for 2025. And that next year going to be something spectacular because I turned 45 next year. And it's going to be 2005. And it's going to be
2025.
2025,
yeah.
yes. And I can just feel that it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic.
We're the right place for something epic.
Yes.
So that is just putting on 4 different events in a year is enough to. I think about place. I got to think about who's speaking. I got to organize. I got to promote. And real quick, how much these events cost? What's the when you send it out? How much do people gotta pay?
It is free. It's free.
And
so I believe that when you do things from your heart, the monetary part is going to come. I believe that. Also, I wanted to, this year, I wanted to put it out so when I do start charging, people know that they're getting something.
Yeah.
But you always can donate. I put that, I give it the option. If God leads your heart, if you don't want to donate, you can definitely purchase the book. The journal is actually doing really well. I think I am about 25 copies. It's not your normal journal. It's not. You are going to need one for the next seminar. You're going to need one. If you're a woman that's on the go, this is great. You're not bound by numbers. You're not bound by dates. You're not bound by this is what you have to do today. So if you don't, you feel like you let yourself down. Yeah. This is when I need it. This is when I forgot about it. This is when I want to do a little extra. This is when I just need something to do for today. So go out there and grab it and support.
Yeah, and it's different. It's different types of things. It's not the same. And there's nothing against having a passage to read and then something to write after and answer a question. There's nothing against that. But this has something that you're reading important to yourself, and then it has a question that you can answer. Then it has an activity or an exercise for you to do, and then there's just blank pages for you to journal and write. So so you could flip through and find something. You don't have to do it in order. You don't have to go from page 1 all the way to the end. You can go to the middle and again, like Dominique said, you don't feel like I didn't do the 50 pages before it, so this is out of order and doesn't make sense to me. No, you can go in, pick an activity that resonates with you at the time, and do it.
And so, just to give you I'm gonna give you 3 little snippets. One of the pages say, "What significance does your name hold for you?" And you just write the importance of your name. And then I do these moments in here where it's called check-in. And this check-in says, take a moment to pause and connect with yourself. Bring to mind any past actions that you regret and forgive yourself for them. Let go of any resentment towards yourself or others for the way things turned out. Use this time to reflect on your life, where you've been, where you want to go. Remember that you have the power to let go of any negative influence in your life and move forward with gratitude for the present moment. And that's a check-in. That's a check-in.
Yep.
And then give me one Lord. And then 1. Our past may be out of control, but it's vital to remember that it's only a chapter or 2 in your life story. We can make a conscious effort to heal and become a better version of ourselves in the present. That means right now. It's time for us to concentrate on writing our future according to our vision, free from judgment, regret, or sorrow. Let's remember that we are choosing to win.
So just 3. Now that's just 3 out of all those pages where you can, and those were in separate parts of the book.
Yes, they were.
She didn't go back to back to back, but it all fits and it's all appropriate and it's all relevant. And so I have the book, I have the journal, and when I get it, I say, okay, I can do everything all at the same time. I'm finishing up a journal, but that's on my nightstand to pick up as soon as I finish the one that I'm doing right now. But I've looked through it, but I was like, I want to dedicate my brain to it. I don't want to I'm doing 5 journals again, trying to do too much. No, do the journal when it's appropriate to do the journal. So one thing at a time, so I can give it my all and make sure that I'm getting trapped outside of myself. I don't want to be inside myself because you're there all the time, and it's easy to be trapped inside of yourself, overthinking, and I read a word about a month ago, the word over spiritualized. I never thought about that, and I was like, that's a thing where you can think about something so much and you just like, and not that we don't give God all the glory and give him his due, but sometimes you can sit and while you're overthinking, you over spiritualize something and you have just made it into something that it's not.
And they say too much of anything is not good.
Yeah, and so just to sit in that thing and I was like, that is something, but it's about that balance you talked about. Having balance, and it takes intention. Because if you don't, you'll be imbalanced. You'll do too much of something. I remember I went to a church a long time ago, and the pastor said, don't be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. So that comes with a whole lot of I'm better than, or you're over spiritualizing things where you're not connected, and then folks can't nobody talk to you, and every time they come it's doing this and this and that, and it's like no,
we're still human. We still make mistakes.
Exactly.
It's just like a teacher. They say a teacher learns best when they're struggling, when they have to teach their kids when they're learning at the same time as their students.
Yeah, and being self-reflective.
You have to
be reflective.
And that's what Dee's passion is really, really about. Getting to a place where women can feel free, because right now in society we have been ostracized in so many different levels.
You mean women?
Yes. And I mean women far as in our homes. When I was growing up, or I hear elderly people speak and saying you have to have a prayer closet. This to me is your mobile prayer closet. Where you can write in it and no one has to know what you're talking about. And I'm a very simple person, but the things I say can be very deep. But you can take, when you say over spiritualized, you can take this journal, and I say this journal is for about, if you can be I'm gonna say 16 and up, because the words in here are not, they're not so over the top that a 16-year-old couldn't understand it. It's why your name is important to you.
Yeah. At 16, you know that.
What happens to you is it a person that hurt your feelings that you want to describe? These are things that anybody can do. Even Paisley tried to do these, y'all. It's so hilarious. But At home, we have to be strong. But we can't be too strong, because if we have a male in the house, we still have to let him lead. With our kids, we have to still be a mom to let them know that's not the right thing, but still give them their independency to make that mistake, that we know that you're going to need me. And we got to be okay with that. We have to know how to have a strong voice, but it needs to be soft enough for you to know it's nurturing. When we out in public, we have to be a ladylike. We have to wear the lip gloss and the makeup and the hair nice and neat, and but then you can't let that get over on you. You can't let that become something where you are high, mighty, hoity-toity. You still have to be down to earth. So you have to woo, black power, and oh my goodness, all at the same time. You know, you have to be a good driver, but then you can't drive better than somebody else. And when you're in church, you know, you have to be a help. You have to help. But you got to know when to say no. But you have to say no in the right way, so you can still seem helpful. And then when you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
You know, it's really bad that a man can say no. Nobody says nothing else after that. Think about it. Jay or Cordell can literally, hey, can you take the trash out? No. And they go right back to their day, and nobody questions it. They can be at church. Hey, Brother Star, you gonna be able to come Friday? No. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and ask Pastor Fred, and it's okay. Oh, Sinitra, can you come Friday? No. Why?
Or even if there's no why, and this is not just church, it's any situation.
Correct.
I feel like there should be a comma after my no and not a period.
And even though no is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
But it's no, and the way society makes us feel, we feel obligated to say,
to give it a reason.
Because my daughter got a recital, or I have a prior engagement, or I would love to be there Saturday. Unfortunately, I want to wipe my butt in peace. Whatever it is we have to say. At work, they want us to come there and go and go and go and go. You have to always help. You have to always give advice. And if you don't, you're not doing what you should do. But then when you need it, then it's why you didn't go look for it somewhere else. So I just know a lot of women feel overwhelmed where we don't get time to ourselves. We don't. And when we do get that 5 minutes to ourselves, we begin to overthink. We begin to over conceptualize, over whatever the case may be. And so I just want to create a space where women, and someone may say, you keep saying women, because mothers is the root to a lot of things. Women are. I know they say men run the world, but it's really the women.
And what I'll say about that is, I think for too long, we've needed permission from,
and validation.
Yeah, and fill in the blank with whoever, because it could be a different permission from for a different reason or whatever. But I think now, especially with me turning 50, and it started when I turned 40. Like, because I heard, oh, when you're 40, this is supposed to happen and you're supposed to do it. I was still trying to figure it out. Like, when I say that I'm 50, like, who 50? Me, I remember turning 21, 25, getting married, like, all the things. I remember all of those things. And so now to be, 50, and I'm like, when you're 50, you at 40, you're supposed to be able to say no unapologetically. That's what it was. At 40, I was like, I didn't get a hold of that.
I'm late then, because I'm about to be 44. And I just was able to say no to some of Paisley's old toys.
But I think what it is the slowing down, and it is the word is really being unapologetic. And unapologetic doesn't mean rude. I think you can weaponize it and it can become rude. But what unapologetic is you have to express how you feel. You got to say how you feel. You have to say what it is you need and then go get it or ask somebody for it. And I think that's the unapologetic part, because if we don't do that, then we, one, suffer in silence, and then two, if we're not getting this is about to sound real crazy. If we're not getting what we're not asking for, somehow we then become resentful and mad at the people who aren't reading our minds. And that's not fair to people that we're in relationship with. And so we have to find how in our own voice and personality to not be trapped inside of ourselves, but to really, if we love those around us, respect them enough to give them the space to give us what we need.
And to piggyback what you're saying is so valid and true. The part where I guess the people that came before us, it just resonated what they meant. At 40, you should be in a space where you can appreciate the things you have done. Right?
Yeah.
To say, okay, I'd have did that, I'd have partied, I'd have did this, I'd have made mistakes, and I'm okay with who I am.
Yeah.
Now, that asking for what you need is that valuable. I wouldn't ask Cordell for things. I felt like, let me track back. Because women pay attention to details, I would pay attention to him to be like, what's wrong? Your back hurt? Did you eat today? I'm about to cook. We would say things they need because we're detail oriented. That's what God gave us, right? And I would get mad. Let me talk about Dominique. I would get mad because he didn't know when I was irritated. Like, you've been with me for 3-4 years. You don't know by now when I go, oh, okay, I'm not mad. Like, how dare you? And so my therapist said, you have to stop, like she did at the event, and said, ask yourself, what do I need first? Before you hit that floor and put on the Maybelline and all of that, what do I need? And so after going there to her, I went to him and I said, I need help keeping this house clean, because I'm not Molly the maid, and I can't do it. I can't, and not being graphic, or I can't go to work, drop down and get my eagle on, cook dinner, I can't. Matter of fact, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Right? And so guess what? Now we have a system in our house. We're not perfect by no means. But he washes the clothes, I fold the clothes, and Paisley put the clothes up. Paisley gather all the shoes and put them where they go. He cleans the kitchen. I clean the dining room and living room. And guess what? I'm not exhausted. And when I am exhausted, guess what I say? I'm tired. I don't know what we're going to eat. Dinner's on you. And then I'm okay. I'm okay with that because I am telling him what I need. And he goes, I got you. Now, if for whatever reason something happens where he can't do it, then he says, okay, babe, I can't do that today, but I can do it tomorrow. And I have to be okay with, he doesn't have to do it like me.
Right.
The goal is to get the job done. And I will say, our relationship has been a lot stronger because he's not a mind reader. And Cleo got fired. So we don't want no mind readers around here. And so she did, sorry, Cleo.
She got exposed and
She did, all in one. And so I do want us to feel confident as women. And so I know we talk about so much stuff because I know people say women, I just want to tell you what my end goal is. I want to create, once I get the women, and once the different women around Cleveland is letting go of their hurt. I don't want to offend anybody when I say this. When we can get rid of the baby daddies titles, because a lot of pain come from who we had kids with, and it's not the kid's fault, and sometimes it's not the person's fault. We knew that person wasn't good, and sometimes they was, and we thought differently, but we need to get through that pain. Then schools will be a lot better, because then mamas will be going back up to the school like our mamas used to do, and meet the teachers and come to parent-teacher conference, and not wait until the last week of school to try to get some grades that your baby been not producing all year or proficient. And then my ultimate goal that I will feel accomplished if I could do that is create a campus school that runs itself. And what I mean by runs itself, when kids matriculate from preschool to high school and become graduates, the ones who do not go off to college right away can learn a trade and give back to the school, where the school can hire them. If we have chefs, mothers that are chefs and trying to be chefs, they can come cook for the school. If some have got a green thumb and they can plant, show our kids how to plant our food, and we can use the food to give to the community or donate to the homeless. So that is my ultimate end goal, where then I can sit on the porch and drink lemonade and know that things are going. Because we need to show all communities, but definitely the African American community, that we built this country. That's facts. We built this country with nothing. That's facts. And if we did it once, with the information we have now, we can do it again.
And I think what I love about what you're saying is, because my mind goes to this. I think sometimes we try to go from the wide, like we want this thing, as opposed to take care of the house on the street, and then the street is good. And then when the street is good, the community is good. Then when the community is good, then the city, and then the county, and the state. And so then it has, if everybody thinks about, right, start from the nucleus, what does that look like, and then move outward. And so you're saying, hey, I'm starting with this. It's a free event that I've created. We're coming in, we're working on these things little by little. But every person that comes into that space then goes back to their house, street, community, city. And so the idea of when you said it, hey, and then this way I'm gonna capture education. Because there's education is a house of cards right now. It just is. It's just facts. That's a whole different season of episodes. But what can be done at this level, you know what I'm saying? Something small impacts many. And so thinking about what you're doing to impact, you know, the city of Cleveland, and which can go into the state of Ohio and so forth and so on. But it's like, I've got to start somewhere. And so knowing that, and not just knowing that, doing that consistently. And I think that's where sometimes like, oh, I did it one time and oh, it was 20 people. That ain't big enough. I ain't gonna do it again. Or I gotta go back to the drawing board because I gotta do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. It's like consistency. Oh, and just doing it consistently and having your heart be seen in every single, and it's rarely about you. That's the beauty. Like it's literally, you create a space for us to come, and yes, you introduce, you come in, and we know you, like we're getting to know each other as we show up, but it's like you always give us a space to be introspective, right? And it's because like when I walk away, I'm like, okay, what I say about myself, and I'm like, ooh. And fast forward, I had a conversation. I unpacked some stuff with my husband last week that literally blew my whole mind. Like we sat and impromptu conversation just really had me go back to the 6th grade to unpack some stuff, like why I am the way I am now. Was able to unpack it from something that happened in the 6th grade, and then he was able to unpack like a trend. It's all this stuff, and I'm just like, whoa. And so coming to these events and really slowing down, and like it's important to work on yourself. It's important to not, well, this is just how I am. Because that's true, sure, it's how you are, but is that how you always want to be? And is it okay? It may not be okay for you to be how you is. Hey, I just pop off. That's just what I do, and you just gonna have to deal with it. Not really.
So that part.
Not really.
And once again, we have to do things in moderation. Being who you are, you should be comfortable with who you are. Some people I realize don't have an anchor. Paisley is my anchor.
Okay.
And so somebody be like, what do you mean by that? Paisley lets me know, me and Paisley's relationship, she lets me know how far I'm away from where I need to be. Let me give you an example. And to the audience, I know you're not going to know what I'm talking about. She will, because I want to stay respectful. So me and Paisley, now Paisley is 5, y'all. I wish she was here because she would be having a whole mouthful. But Paisley is very articulate. And that's because me and Paisley talk. We talk like girlfriends, but I remind her that I'm still her mother and I got to, if I need to. So we're in the car. She's in this phase where she's testing me. She wants to do what she wants to do. And she know that's not rocking with me. And so we in the car on our way. This was Sunday. We on our way to a birthday party. And I said, Paisley, can mommy talk to you for a minute? She in the back seat. She's like, sure, mom. Tell me what you're feeling. And I said, well, I really don't like that you don't listen to mommy. It makes mommy feel like you're saying, I don't care that you're my mother. I don't even want you to be my mother. I'm going to do what I want to do. This is how I really talk to a 5-year-old, y'all. No lie. And so she was like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, mommy. I don't feel like that. I love you. You're the best. I said, well, that's how you're acting. And so she was like, okay, I can work on that. And she said, can I say something?
Hold on, let me brace myself just a smidge because I've been listening to Paisleyisms for 5 years now.
Yes.
Continue, go ahead.
Okay. Paisley said, I said, yes, baby, you can tell me something. Now, let me say this to you, moms. I know we have this thing called gentle parenting, authoritative parenting, whatever. You have to find what works for your child.
Yes.
This right now is going to sound like a gentle parent, but I want you to know by no means I am not. By no means I am not. Paisley will get the business if it calls for it. That's what she get. Her consequence fits the crime. So I said, but I give her a space to be able to communicate. Because I don't want her to be like me, get upset when she can't get it out. So we said, I said, yes, Paisley. When you say yes, Paisley, you have to be prepared. She said, well, can you do me a favor? I said, yes. She said, because when you come home, I would like for you and your partner to figure it out. Because when you come home, you are fiery. And that makes me not feel good. I said, Paisley, mommy is so sorry. Because that's not my intentions to be mean to you. To be mean to you when I have a bad day at work. She said, no, you're not mean to me. You're just explosive. These are her words. Fiery and explosive. And I said, you know what? You ain't got to worry about that again. That was my anchor to let me know that I was letting someone else outside of my household dictate how I act when I get home to my baby. And let me tell y'all one thing for certain and two things for sure that will never change. Don't come for my kid. Don't affect my kid in no way, shape, or form. Don't indirectly affect her, personally affect her, financially affect her at all. So that meant to me, and I get goosebumps because anybody who know me, when bad boys say we ride together, we die together, bad boys for life, that's me and Paisley. So I had to swallow.
Yeah.
I had to swallow that.
And take that feedback.
And I had to take it.
That was good though.
But as a mother, now I got to fight. I got to fight. Because I told my baby when I had her, I'm going to defend you at any means necessary. And I even told her father, that means if I have to defend her from me. See, mamas want to say that's my baby, but you won't call this father to help take the kid to school because you mad. No. I will defend Paisley and I will fight for Paisley even if it means defending her from me. So, and you know what that means.
Yeah, I do.
And so that means when you come home and you're a different person and your kids are affected, your kids need to be an anchor to let you know that you went too far off from home. Whether it's mentally, if you want to get them red bottoms but your rent not paid, you look at them babies, that means you went too far financially. If you and the baby father or the husband or the father in the house, if y'all in the house and y'all arguing where the kids is asking is they leaving, then you went too far. Paisley is my anchor. I started going to therapy because of Paisley. I do not want to be my mother to give my traumas to my daughter. So I had to go get help. And I'm not ashamed of it. I don't have pride for it. Whatever it come with it, it come for it. I wrote this journal because I feel like women need somewhere to figure out where their anchor is. Now your anchor may be your job because you don't have children. Your anchor can be your dog because you don't have children. You don't want to walk the dog today and you walk them every day. Then you need to realize whatever got you not wanting to walk your dog that you love and pay thousands of dollars for, that you feed every day, potty train, wipe them up, then you need to check that at the door. So your anchor is whatever keeps you grounded to bring you back to reality when reality is a mirage. And that is Paisley for me. When your reality is a mirage, so I don't care how many books I sell. I don't care how many people come to them events. I don't care how many people say, oh, Pew, you a great educator. I don't care how many kids invite me to their graduation. If my baby is affected negatively in any type of way, somebody got to go. And it's going to be tied to somebody. So, bruised, battered, and scarred. I don't know where we come from, but that's my anchor.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's my epic.
That's good.
So that's my why.
That's good.
And that's my passion.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
So my question is, what's your anchor?
Right.
Not your non-negotiable, because them can be moved.
Yeah. And they change as you change.
They do, because I used to then date past 3 years, and me and Paisley's father been together 8.
Okay, well there's that.
I'm going to keep it 100.
Yeah.
Because they change. That's what is between facts and truth. Facts change, truth don't. Because it's a fact. Today, I'm 43. That is the fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
But come Thursday, that fact will not be valid. Because I will be 44. The truth is, I'm growing every day. That's a difference.
Yeah.
So if you have an anchor, your anchor reminds you of the truth.
And she gave you some truth in that car.
She said fiery
and explosive.
Wow. But she knew it wasn't mean. She said, "You're not mean to me."
She was letting you know that
your persona,
and you different. And although you may have known it, and maybe you thought when you came home that you were
masking it,
but to her, she was like, "Let me let you know."
Because she been in me.
Yeah.
She was trapped inside of me. And she knows me. She knows the real me. Yeah. She knows me.
Yeah.
So for you all, I can hide it, which I really can't. But for her, I can't hide it on my face, y'all. I can't.
Right.
I'm working on it every day. And so when you look at this episode, when you look at Sinitra, when you look at anybody that you care about, anybody that you have issues with, find your anchor. Because your anchor will remind you of your peace and your why.
Yeah.
And I hope you come out. I will definitely be giving Sinitra the flyer to put up.
Oh, yeah.
My next journal is going to come out around December.
Good Christmas present. Good Christmas present for the people.
Christmas present. Good. End of the year. Let's start on a good note.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I will, because some people ask, it might be 2. And I'm right now I'm thinking of a mother and daughter.
Oh.
Where for the kid version.
Yeah, since
and the
Paisy
adult
trying to
version.
do that one, that makes sense.
Well, Paisy said because her mom's an author, she wants to be an author.
All right.
And so the sky's the limit.
It is.
And so we gonna work on that. So stay tuned for that around Christmas, around that area.
Cool.
Around that area.
Cool. We will.
I'm waiting for God to open some doors, and
He will. He will.
I'm ready for Him. Right now, our household is in limbo.
Okay.
So
I know about limbo.
we got the ham but no burger. We got the French no fry. We got the hot no dog. And so right now we waiting for all the pieces to come together on new adventures.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we meet again to see if those new adventures came to life.
Yeah.
Or expounded upon.
Yeah.
And so I thank you for having me.
Of course. I thank you for coming and just sharing and giving and giving of yourself, even outside of this space. Just how I've known you from the time we met to now, and through just watching you in your career and personally, just you give of yourself. Like it ain't a fake bone in your body. And we've talked about that before, but just authentic, just what you see is what you get, but just completely genuine. And that is what I appreciate about you. That is what I appreciate. You be like, hey, I'm gonna give it to you how it is. And and the thing is, if you're approachable, if you hurt somebody's feelings, you want them to come and say, hey, that was a little, and you'll be like, my bad, I didn't know. Like, that's the part that I appreciate about you, is that, you're not, hey, if I say it, that's just it, and you gonna take it. No, you're gonna get the truth. But if it does bother you, I'm open enough to take the feedback. And so that's what I appreciate about you. And again, this is not, don't nobody ever come here one time, because, I re-invite, and there's so much to unpack and talk about. And so after we, get to the end of this year with the next 2 events and the next journals and, everything, just when you get to school and get the big, don't forget about the little people here at Epic Experiences. Come and talk to us about the school. Please and thank you.
No, I will not. And thank you for those kind words. I really challenge everybody to go look through their phone and find one female friend. If you want to do more, that's fine. But find one female friend or one female in your phone that you haven't talked to over 2 weeks, and call them and say thank you. And sometimes we think thank you is for something that they did. But thank you can be, thank you for letting me be a part of your life. Right? And so if anybody's watching this, she say I'm authentic. I definitely really try to be a very honest person. It gets me in trouble. And if somebody is out there like, oh, she ain't keep it real with me, just know that baby God was saving you.
Mercy. Okay.
He was saving you and maturing me, and not in a nasty way, because I have grown to know that sometimes when I really want to say what I really want to say, it just don't need to be said no more.
Yeah.
It just don't.
Factual.
So them is the challenges I have. I went to a women's breakfast, and the lady was saying we need to look for miracles. And sometimes someone told me this, my best friend D, God's rejection is your protection. So he rejects me to say some things.
That's good perspective.
To protect me and you, you know. And once again, Paisley saved lives because I got to feed her. But that's just a joke. But, you know, I just thank you because since we have, and you never said this, and but I know we have connected in different arenas. Mm-hmm. And we have came across each other in different groups of people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. However, you haven't let those groups of people deter you from learning who I am.
Facts.
Because that can happen. I mean, we're human. Yep. When we have friends and we know our friends are authentic, we value what they say. Mm-hmm. And we just have to remember as women that people meet people at different times and spaces in their life, mm-hmm. different situations. You know, mm-hmm. if somebody met you after your daughter crashed your car, you might not be so nice. Mm-hmm. But if they met you right after you came off of a spiritual high, they might get a different you. And that's when we have to forgive people. We have to forgive people because people go through things and they don't have to always articulate it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that we know different groups of people, and you have, and some of them may have their perception of me, which I know I own it. Because like I said, that sometimes in different groups I can tell when it went awry. But you haven't let that alter the connection that we have. And you haven't let that water what we have. And so for that, mm-hmm. I am very grateful and appreciative of the platform that you provided me with when I came to you and said, you need to have a platform of this and that, and we need to go here. And you was like, what? And you don't look at me like a crazy person that come with rattling it off like, oh, God told me you was going to be okay, and God said this, and you're like, how did you know that? I just was praying about that. And if anybody do get to know me on a personal level, I love helping. Genuinely, I love helping people. I don't like to see people hurt or without. If I mean, people at work say all the time, like, go to Pew, she gonna figure it out. Kid strap fell off. I just stapled it back. Somebody needed, they was like, I left my bread at home. I said, well, I got crackers. I don't know where it come from, but so thank you for having me.
No, of course. Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Epic Experiences. Check us out on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube, where we have video now. Look at me growing.
Look at that.
No, look at the Lord doing what He's doing.
Through you.
Right. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you next time.